Brush and shave.
Okay, so Meg, this week we're talking about just grooming habits and stuff. So let's go now to like our teeth.
Oh.
Now the dentist says you should floss every day. Do you floss every day?
Now I do, actually. I'm pretty consistent with it because a couple years back I had some cavity issues that I didn't want to go through again. And I wasn't so good about flossing before that, but the dentist said that if I flossed and used mouthwash regularly, probably it could be avoided. And so ever since then, rarely every day I do it.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, the dentist always says you should floss more. I'm pretty good about every other day. And then every now and then I'll get on a binge and I'm like, oh, I'm going to floss every meal like I'm supposed to. But I'm pretty good. I brush my teeth twice a day. I know some people at work, I see them brushing after lunch. Are you one of those people that brushes their teeth 3 times a day?
No, I do twice a day also. Do you do morning and night?
Yeah, and actually my dentist told me don't do it 3 times a day because if you do it too much, it could do damage to your gums. So, plus he said I was brushing my teeth too hard. So I was pushing my gums back. I
actually had the exact same experience earlier this year. I went to the dentist because I felt like I maybe had some cavities because I had sensitivity in my teeth, and I was also brushing too hard because I was working, so I really want them to be so clean, and so my gums also were receding a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it's so painful when it happens. You realize you have to reverse it, you know? Yeah. So what about the tongue scraper? Do you do the little tongue scraper thing?
I don't have like a tongue scraper. I just kind of use my toothbrush and just brush it a little bit, I guess. Yeah. Do you use tongue scraper?
I have one. I use it sometimes.
How does it work? What does it do?
It's just like you're raking leaves. You just put it in your mouth and you just like scrape your tongue. And you do get some stuff that comes off of it. You're like, oh, wow.
Oh, but it sounds kind of gross, actually.
It is a little bit gross, yeah.
But good for your mouth.
Yeah, definitely good. Definitely good. So then the other thing I guess we can talk about is shaving. Now, I'm a guy, so I have the facial hair.
Right.
So, but I'm pretty lucky. I only have to shave maybe twice a week.
Oh, really?
I can get away with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the full-on, manly beard thing that comes out, so.
Yeah. Yeah, some people have to shave like twice a day, so that seems like it would be inconvenient.
Yeah. So do you I guess because you're a woman,
right.
Do you have to do the legs thing?
Yes. Yes, I do shave my legs pretty much every time I take a shower.
Really?
Yeah.
How annoying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is annoying. I actually really don't like it. I wish I didn't have to do it. And I mean, I guess I could choose to stop, but
yeah.
I'd rather do it. So, usually every time I take a shower, because then if you're wearing a skirt or shorts, it's visible. So, yeah. Just try to be careful.
And, honestly, from a guy's perspective, when I look and I think about women shaving their calves below their knees, it looks like it'd be very easy to cut yourself because your legs are kind of hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for the calves, it's not so bad because it's kind of a straight, it's more smooth. But the knee part, you have to be careful.
Right,
because it's like a shape. And ankles. And feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like for guys, our problem is right under the chin and then the Adam's apple. The Adam's apple is brutal because you kind of have to go around it, so it's very easy to cut yourself.
Yeah. Do you use an electric razor?
No, I should. I'm very environmentally unfriendly. I use those plastic razors because they're just so easy.
Yeah.
And actually, I kind of get away with it because at the gym I go to, they offer it. They have free razors in the men's room, so I just do it there.
Yeah.
Save a few bucks.
Might as well.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, anyway, I guess we're somewhat healthy.
Yeah, or clean at least.
Exactly.
Living for today, not tomorrow.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Today we're talking about bucket lists, things you want to do before you die. Do you have anything?
Actually, no. I don't have a bucket list. And the reason why is because I have already done or I'm currently doing the things that I want to do. In addition, I like to live in the now, so like the present of like what's happening. So I really don't think of the distant future very much, just like what's right in front of me. For example, I'm going to Singapore soon, in about 10 days, and I'm really looking forward to that and the new adventure and things that I'll get to do there.
What sort of things do you have in mind to explore in Singapore?
First of all, swing dancing. My favorite kind of dance currently is Lindy Hop swing dancing. And Singapore is one of the places in Asia that has several swing dance meetup groups. So I look forward to dancing several of the nights while I'm there, but also trying all of the delicious food and just exploring a country that I've never been to.
Wow, great. What are some of the things that you have wanted to do in the past that you have accomplished already?
I think living in foreign countries. I've already lived in 2 foreign countries, and I plan on living in foreign countries probably the rest of my life. So that's a big one. And I think just everyday things like finishing college and getting 2 master's degrees and being able to support myself. It's all things that are important to me.
Yeah, those are really great things. What are your 2 degrees in?
My first degree is in teaching English to speakers of other languages. This degree allows me to be able to live in other countries and to teach English. And then my other degree is in global studies, so it's like an intercultural degree where I learned about different cultures and religions.
Whoa, that's really great. Have you ever eaten anything exotic or had any really interesting experiences that most people might not have had when you're traveling to these different places and fulfilling your goals?
I've definitely eaten a lot of different things, most of which I'm not really sure what a lot of it was. The strangest, probably jellyfish, maybe. Also gotten a chance to ride a lot of different animals. I've ridden camel, donkey, horse, elephant, and even an ostrich. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Have you done any other extreme activities?
Yeah, I've been skydiving before. I've been volcano boarding. Trying to think what else I've done. I haven't been bungee jumping. I think that's probably one of the only ones that I haven't done as of right now. But I really have no desire to do that one, so.
Wow, that's great. You've lived a good life.
Dream time.
So, do you dream a lot? Do you remember your dreams?
I usually do, although I have to admit, now that I'm older, I don't dream so much. It's pretty rare that I have a dream. But I will have dreams if I'm really stressed or if I'm really sick. So usually every time I get sick, I notice I'm sick because I have a dream. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night from some crazy dream, and then I'll notice, oh, wow, I'm sick. So, yeah, that's about it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Although, when I was when I was younger, I used to have all these dreams related to work. I guess they were stress related. And the craziest dream was I was a waiter at a very fast-paced restaurant, and it was very stressful. And you had to wait on about 10 tables, and people would come in, and you had to get their food fast. And if you didn't, you'd get yelled at by the boss, or the customers would be upset. So I used to have this dream, and this was when I was in college, that I would be sleeping, and there would be a table in my room, and the customers would be sitting there watching me sleep, and they would be furious because I wasn't bringing their food, and I was like just sleeping in the bed right next to their table. And it was the same nightmare I had for like again and again and again. It was crazy.
That's really interesting and kind of funny too.
Yeah, I know. It's weird how you have the same recurring dream. I used to have another dream, a nightmare when I was young, and it would be I was riding a bicycle up a mountain, and the mountain was like had a path that just kept going around and around the mountain, and you had to be really careful or else your bike would fall off the cliff, and then my bike, of course, would go off the cliff, and I would fall, and then you would wake up right before you hit the ground. I had that dream many, many times when I was a little kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever have nightmares or any dreams like that?
Yeah, I don't dream very often, but I have this one reoccurring dream also where I am in school and it's the end of the semester and I suddenly realize that there's one class that I haven't been going to the entire semester and I'm going to fail it. So I panic and I'm running around like trying to find my professor to like try to figure out what I need to do or what I need to study for the final exam so that I don't fail this class. But what's really interesting about this dream is I found out a few years ago that my father has the same reoccurring dream.
Wow. You know, this is going to sound crazy. I've had that dream too. I've had a dream of like I registered for a course in college and I never went to the course and I'm going to get an F and I don't even remember when I registered or where the class is, but I didn't finish the class. Is that the same dream?
Exact same dream.
Wow. I wonder what it means.
Me too.
Maybe there's somebody out there that really knows what it means and they're like, uh-oh, those two people are doomed.
There must be a lot of people with this dream.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like there's certain structures. Like I know that the bike dream that I had about falling off the cliff, I've heard that many people have that. Yeah. Have you ever heard about the dream? I had it a couple times, the dream where you're in class and then you suddenly notice that you don't have any clothes on and you're afraid that people are going to notice you don't have any clothes on?
No, I've never had that one.
Yeah, that was one when I was really, really little, but yeah. Huh.
I've heard that a lot of people have dreams about their teeth falling out. And that this means that like they're afraid of like losing something in their life.
Really?
Something that's really important to them.
Oh, wow. So if your teeth are falling out, you're going to lose something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or you're afraid of losing something. Because most people, their teeth are really important to them.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Well, I don't have any nightmares anymore. It's pretty rare. How about you?
Yeah, same with me. Thank goodness.
Yeah, maybe it's just a young thing.
Maybe.
Sleeping patterns.
So, Sarah, let's talk about sleep. How many hours of sleep do you usually get every night?
Usually at least 8. Depends on how late I stay up, but usually about 8 hours I try to get every night.
And you're pretty consistent. Like even on the weekends, you get 8 hours.
Yes, even on the weekends. Sleep is very important for me to feel normal and energetic.
Now, do you need an alarm clock to wake you up, or do you just wake up naturally every day?
I definitely have to have an alarm clock. Even though I wake up very easily, I don't wake up at a routine time easily. So I usually set 2 alarms, and that'll usually get me up.
Oh, wow. I actually have this kind of weird mental ability. I thought that everybody can do this, but I found out it's not the case. But I can wake up exactly at the minute I want, anytime. So like if I have to get up at 5:43, before I go to bed, I can say, okay, get up at 5:43, and I'll wake up at 5:43 exactly. I don't know.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how. I guess your brain just can keep time. I when I tell people this, sometimes they think, oh, come on, that's not true. But really, like ever since I was a kid, I could just tell myself what time I want to wake up, and I'll wake up exactly at that time.
That's really quite amazing. I wish it was that way for me, but it's not.
Yeah, well, it's weird because like I don't use alarm clocks, and I can't like an alarm clock. The idea actually, I can't have a deep sleep if I know that it's going to ring and wake me up, like it's going to jolt. To me, an alarm clock is like somebody throwing cold water on you. You know, so I don't use alarm clocks at all.
Yeah, I'm always paranoid about being late, so that's why I set 2, just in case like 1 doesn't go off. But I can sleep any time of the day. Like it really doesn't matter what type of day. It's very easy for me to fall asleep for as long as whenever. So that's why I have to have an alarm clock, because I could sleep 12 or 14 hours and not wake up.
Wow, that's like you do like sleep.
Yeah.
So do you take naps?
No, because then I feel really like groggy and really like irritable if I take naps for only, because I just want to sleep longer. than that amount of time, so I don't take naps.
Like, can you sleep with the light on?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. Actually, that's probably why I always wake up so early. As soon as the light comes through the window, I wake up. I can't sleep if it's not dark.
I can sleep in any situation. Light, noise, sitting up, doesn't matter. I can sleep.
Oh, wow. So you're a deep sleeper.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Like just a little bit of noise or a little bit of light, and I can't sleep. Wow. And actually, I probably only get on average 6 hours a night, but I do sometimes take naps.
Okay. How long do you usually nap for?
Usually an hour. I find out if I go over an hour, then that's the danger zone, because then if you sleep like 2 or 3 hours, then you wake up and you're just groggy for the whole day. Like you can't. It's like you've been drugged, you know? So, yeah, at 45-minute nap's about it.
Yeah. When you were a child, did your parents make you take naps?
They did. And oddly enough, when I was a kid, though, I couldn't sleep. Like, you know, you would cry, I don't want to take a nap, you know? And then you'd be like, you'd conk out. But yeah, I do remember. Do you remember having to take naps in school?
I didn't go to school, actually. I was homeschooled.
Oh,
so
really?
I remember taking naps when I was really little, but beyond that and like school age, I never had to.
Huh. Anyway, all this talk's making me tired. I think I'm ready for a nap.
Sounds good.
The medic.
So, Meg, you are talking about being in the military, and you said you were a medic. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so a medic, which now I believe is called healthcare specialist, is, I always say it's kind of similar to being like a paramedic, where it's not a full nurse job. I think nurses have more training, like in the civilian side, nurses, but similar to paramedic, where you have certain like minor procedures that you're trained to do and higher level things than just an EMT, like doing IVs and giving shots and stitches and things like that. And you're trained, because it's the military, you're especially trained for emergency situations and how to treat someone who has maybe some serious life-threatening wounds. So
Wow.
That's a medic.
That sounds like a really difficult job. I mean, it's not your typical just soldier job. You must have had a lot of schooling and education.
Everyone goes through the initial about 2.5 months, like basic training, and that's more kind of basic combat skills and physical training, that kind of thing. And then I had 4 months past that to train to be a medic. So we went through like a emergency medical technician course, just like civilian side. I got certified with that, and then we had additional training for the military skills like IVs and emergency procedures.
Right. Can you explain what IV is?
IV is intravenous, like getting fluids into your body. So if you've been injured and you've lost a lot of blood, or maybe you're dehydrated and you need some fluid in your body quickly, then we stick a needle into your vein, and then the fluids go in, and the needle comes back out, but a little tube stays in, and then you can get fluids quickly that way.
So anybody that's been to the doctor knows that's always kind of the anxious moment when the nurse or the person is going to stick the needle in. Were you good at doing that?
Oh, so once I learned how to do it, I think I was pretty good, and I actually enjoyed doing it, not in a creepy way, but it was. I guess because I was decent at it, that it was a part of my job that I enjoyed. But for myself, before we went through that training, I actually became dehydrated and needed to get an IV myself.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was terrified because I really hadn't had that before in my life. And so the nurse was going to come, put the needle in my arm. And I was like, no, isn't there another? I'll just drink a lot of water. And she was saying, aren't you going to be a medic? And I was like, I haven't trained yet. I don't do it. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was recently in the hospital, and they had me strapped up for both blood and for the water, the intravenous drip. And it's annoying because you can't really move.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get up and walk anywhere, you're strapped with all these tubes, and it's not very convenient.
Yeah, or at least you have to be careful. When I was getting the IV, I didn't know that the needle doesn't stay in your arm. Now, for some things it does. For blood, maybe it's different. I'm not sure. But, so I was trying to be so careful, too. But you still want it to go well, so you don't want to move very much.
Right. So what percentage of people would you say freak out when they get the needle?
Oh, probably 90 or 95%.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
even, tough army guys would come in and they'd be like, oh, I'm fine. And they'd be like, well, we need to give you an IV. And they'd be like, ah.
Right.
So,
Nobody likes that.
no.
So you transitioned, you were in the medical profession, and then you moved to education. Why did you leave the medical profession for education?
Yeah, that's interesting because I became a medic in the military because I thought after when I could continue college that I would be a nurse or a doctor. But my time serving as a medic helped me learn that was not what I wanted to do for my career after all. So I definitely am glad that I had those skills and the things that I learned and was able to experience. But English had kind of been on the back burner. And so then I thought, okay, let me revisit this. And it led to English education.
Wow. Have you ever thought about being like an English specialist for people in the medical fields, like teaching doctors and nurses?
I guess I haven't thought about that specifically. Sometimes I've thought about going back to military. They do have some like English schools in the military. And so I guess that would be related also. It could be. Yeah, so that would be interesting. Something to think about.
All right. Great. Thanks, Meg.
Mm-hmm.
Women in uniform.
Meg, I thought we would talk a little bit about the military. Now, you were actually in the military.
Yes, I was actually in the Army National Guard. So I enlisted when I was 17. In America, in the National Guard, each state can have kind of different rules or different requirements. And so in Indiana, you could enlist when you were 17 with parental permission. So I did that.
Wow, 17 is a really young age.
Yeah, and it sort of happened really quick. I mean, I was a junior in high school and got a call from a recruiter. And at first I was really against it, but then in Indiana, if you enlist and you serve your time, they'll pay your college tuition if you go to a state college. So Indiana has Purdue, and I was interested in going to Purdue anyway, so it seemed like a good idea.
That's fantastic. So how long were you in the service?
I was in for 6 years altogether. That was the minimum commitment. So I could have done more, but I was ready to maybe try some other things after that time.
Uh-huh. Did it go by fast?
Looking back, it definitely did. I think there are different stages that went by slow or fast. Like when I was in actual basic training, when you're in it, it was super slow. Like you're counting down the hours every day because you're just desperate to finish and get out and get back to your family. And I was, 17, so it's a little different. But now looking back, like I can't believe it was a full 6 years, and now it's so many years past that already. So yeah, I guess it did go by fast overall.
Yeah, that's great. So what was it like being a woman in the military?
It was, well, I served in a unit. I was a medic, and so my unit, a medical unit, naturally has more women. The ratio is closer to 50-50 men and women, which isn't, at least at that time, wasn't. I don't know the current statistics, but it isn't that kind of ratio for the Army as a whole, or the military as a whole. And so for me, I was with a lot of other women also when I was serving. But for me personally, there were definitely challenges, especially when I was first in basic training. Like, I definitely felt personal pressure to try to keep up with the guys with everything, whether it's, physically being able to lift and carry these heavy boxes and whatever heavy you have the same requirements that you have to do. And so, and you never want to be the weak link. And I think some other women maybe suffered a little more because they couldn't keep up quite as well. And so that can be a little difficult, but maybe I'm naturally a bit more suited for those kind of things. So,
Right.
So I did okay, but I definitely wanted to and tried hard to keep up with the physical aspect, which isn't as easy sometimes for women.
Oh, that's interesting. So, well, you do look pretty fit, so you must have been really fit back in the day.
Yeah, I think, especially basic training, because you're never like not running anytime you're walking somewhere, or you're running, like they make you run everywhere, and you get like 5 minutes to eat breakfast and lunch and dinner every time you have to eat it so fast. And then you're doing all this physical training and then going through obstacle courses and carrying heavy packs and carrying your weapon around. And so that was probably the most fit I've ever been. Definitely not that now, but
Right. So if you had a daughter, would you recommend that she goes in the military, or would you recommend other women join the military?
I wouldn't not recommend it. I guess I don't go around telling everyone, oh, you should just join the military and just do it. But I think if there's a woman who is interested in it or thinking about it, I would definitely, for me, I mean, it worked out great. There are a lot of like leadership and personal character qualities that I was really able to develop during my time that have continued to benefit me now. And so for a woman who's interested, I would definitely say go for it.
Awesome. Thanks, Meg.
Yeah.
DoOver.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Today we're talking about do-overs. So if you had a time machine and you could go back to your college years, is there anything that you might change or do differently?
I really wish that I would have had a chance to study abroad. I chose the wrong major initially. I was a nursing major for 2 years and worked really hard at a major I was really bad at. And then after 2 years, I switched schools and switched majors. So many credits to take that I couldn't study abroad or do really any extra classes that were fun.
That must have been challenging. Where would you have liked to study abroad?
Really anywhere. I've always loved to travel, so I would have been open to going anywhere.
So you said you studied nursing. What would you have studied otherwise?
Well, I first went into nursing because everyone since I was really little told me that I would be a good nurse, so I thought it was my calling in life. And then after taking lots and lots of science classes, which I'm really bad at, I decided to switch majors to education. And then I ended up liking that major, so I'm really happy that I switched.
Was there any other major that you would find interesting that you might study if you went back, or you're satisfied with education?
I'm glad I did education because I really like that work-wise, but if I had to go with things that I'm interested in, I probably would have been some sort of art major. Both my siblings are artists, so it kind of runs in the family a little bit.
What kind of art do you like?
Mainly dance, but I also was really into music growing up, so musical instruments and singing.
So do you have any friends that were interested in art or dance that you had in those times?
Not really, no, actually.
Do you wish that you if you were in a group of people that liked the similar things, that you might have pursued different interests?
Definitely. I wish I would have done more with dance. I was a ballerina for 12 years, and I gave up on that when I was 14 because I got to the level where I either had to train professionally to do that for a job or stay in a class where the younger girls would keep moving up. And so at that time I quit. And although I don't wish I was still doing ballet, I wish I would have continued some kind of dance.
So, Sarah, any funny haircuts or anything like that?
Actually, yes. 1 week before I moved away to college, I cut my hair boy short. And then after that, like during my first semester, I dyed it all different shades of red. And my hair has actually been pretty much every length and every natural-ish color.
Wow. How did your friends and family respond to your red hair?
My mom didn't like it so much. She thought I was going to dye it like a natural red color, but it was more of a fuchsia red color. So she didn't like it very much. But my friends and like my siblings understood because I've always been very different and didn't really care what other people thought about how I looked.
How long did you like it?
For a while, until I wanted change. I love change, so I'd always switch it to something else.
Wow, that's great. Thanks, Sarah.
His DoOver.
So, Adam, today we're talking about do-overs. So, what is something that you wish you would have done over? For example, maybe something in your university life?
Yeah, there are a few things. I might change my major. I studied education, and while I enjoy what I'm doing right now, my free time, I really like watching movies about science and astronomy. And if I would go back to school and start my studies over, I'd probably study something along those lines, astronomy and metaphysics or something. I think that those topics are really interesting and on the cutting edge of science, and just fascinating to explore.
Interesting. Anything else you wish you would have done?
I might have been more involved in the sports clubs at my school. For example, the American football team. I played in high school, but in college I wanted to play, but I didn't have the motivation to push me over the edge to actually go out and really put my heart into it. I went to one training day and kind of tried out, but I didn't really pursue it as much as I would have liked. I think it would have been fun to be part of that culture and that environment.
How about something that you did do that maybe now you wish you hadn't?
I pierced my ears in high school because that was the cool thing to do, but now I don't wear earrings, and looking back on it, kind of just a silly thing to do, that trying to follow the trends that trends usually pass. So that would be something that I wouldn't do again.
Anything else you would have changed?
I might have made different decisions about my girlfriends at the time. I had a really good girlfriend in the beginning of college, and things didn't work out because of a variety of reasons. But I think if we would have worked on it, we could have made it happen. And so yeah, that's something I think about sometimes, about life in college. It's always, college love is kind of crazy thing. So we're too much like kids, I guess, I think, at that age.
Okay, thanks, Adam.